Hey guys, and welcome back to this new lesson. One of my students asked if I could add pooling instead of instantiating the bonus particles. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do here is open our bonus particles manager. Perfect. Once it's done, we are going to add the Unity Engine.pool library. So using Unity Engine.pool library. Perfect. So this will allow us to create a pool of objects. Let's create a header for these. Let's call it pooling. Perfect. And we are going to create a new object pool of type GameObject. Let's call it bonus particles pool. Perfect. By the way, this one should be private. So let's specify it, even though it's already private. Cool. So the first thing we want to do here is in the start method, initialize our pool. So we can write bonus particles pool equals new object pool of type GameObject, and we are going to open the parentheses. So now we need to specify 4 main arguments. The first one is the create function. The second one is the action on get, then the action on release, and the action on destroy. You can also specify the collection check, the default capacity, and the maximum size, but let's stick to what's simple first. Okay, so I'm going to specify them like this, and then explain what every single argument does. So let's write create function, okay, action on get, action on release, and action on destroy. Here we go. Nice. So let's start with the create function. So private GameObject, this one should return a GameObject. Okay, so if we hover over the object pool, we can notice that our create function needs to return a GameObject. Perfect. Let's call it create function. Okay, so the goal of the create function method will be to return the object whenever the pool needs to create a new one. Okay, so in here, we will simply instantiate the bonus particle prefab because we don't have any at the moment, and give it to the pool. So let's write return, because we need to return a GameObject, instantiate the bonus particle prefab under the current transform, which is the bonus particles manager. Perfect. This is everything we need for our create function method. So let's now tackle the action on get. Private void action on get, and this does take a GameObject as an argument. And what this method does is simply specify the logic whenever the pool wants to use a bonus particle. So in our case, we can configure it, okay? Or we can just set it as active, because the idea here when using a pool is that we will enable the bonus particle whenever it gets spawned by the pool and disable it as soon as the animation has complete. So instead of configuring it right here, what I'm going to do is simply write go, which stands for GameObject.setActive true. And I can actually replace this by bonus particle. Yeah, I think it will be better. So Control R twice to rename multiple instances. Bonus particle. Perfect. Let's now go on and specify the action on release. So private void action on release. GameObject bonus particles, same thing here. So we've learned what to do whenever the pool needs a bonus particle, and this method will be called whenever the pool wants to release a bonus particle. Okay, so an element of the pool. So in here, we are simply going to disable the object. So bonus particle.setActive false. As simple as it gets. And finally, let's specify our action on destroy. So private void action on destroy. Like so, GameObject bonus particle. And in here, we will simply destroy the particle whenever we don't need it anymore. So destroy bonus particle. Perfect. Okay, so that's one thing. Now we know how to use the pool, but we are not using it yet. What we need to do to use it is to edit our caret-clicked callback method right here. So now instead of instantiating a bonus particle prefab anytime we want to use one, we are going to remove this line, like so, perfect, and use the pool instead. So bonus particles pool.get. And this should give us a bonus particle instance. Perfect. So now there is one issue left. There are actually 2, but let's deal with the first one. Oh, I can see 3 issues. Anyway, one by one, step by step. So right now we are going to spawn our particle. but we are not specifying the spawn position anymore because we used to specify it inside of the instantiate method. So let's first give this a shot. Okay, so I'm gonna hit play. Let's click. Nothing happens because I need to switch to the simulator. Okay, now it's working. Our bonus particles get spawned, okay, but always at the same position, and that's bad. So we need to specify that. Let's do that right away. Right here, we can write bonus particle instance dot transform dot position equals clicked position. And this should fix our first issue. Let's test it. Okay, here we go. Wait, let me change. Oh, that's better. Now the particle gets spawned at the right position. But there's another issue now. The particles here gets destroyed. We don't want them to get destroyed. We want to use the pool actually. So let's go back to Visual Studio and remove the destroy line like so. Perfect. Now if we go back to Unity, they won't be destroyed, but we are not going to be using the pool yet. So let's also tackle this issue. Okay, so what do we need to use the pool correctly? We need to return or to release any particle whenever we are done using it. So one way you can do it, if you know how long the particle animation lasts, is to use the linTween library, so linTween, and use the delay call method to delay a method call. It's quite simple. It's actually pretty simple. So let's wait 1 second. And what we want to do is call the pool. Okay, so bonus particles pool.release, and we need to specify the game object we want to release. So we want to release the bonus particle instance right here. Okay, so this is not working because we should be using an action and this is a method call. So instead we are going to use a lambda expression. So you just need to write the parenthesis again and the arrow. Perfect. And now this should work properly. So let's actually give it a try. Okay, let's click. And now they should... And they do. They turned inactive. Have you noticed? Now whenever I click, I'm reusing a particle instead of spawning a new one. So this will increase the performance of your game because you won't have a pile of game objects or you won't destroy them. So you will limit the use of the garbage collector, which is awesome. Perfect. So next, I think I'm going to tackle the autoclick because another student asked for it. See you in the next one.